Let's talk about the role of our past and how we show up in our day-to-day life right now. 90% of every moment is defined by our past. What does that mean? That means that, well, everywhere we go, our brain goes. And our brain is encoding and remembering and linking into all these different experiences from our past. And as we know, our little friend Amy the amygdala is a powerhouse of resources for us, and she's involved in thriving and making sure we have wonderful feelings and experiences. And she's also very involved in keeping us safe, which means she's a wonderful threat detector. But when we're in relationship with other humans, her radar is off the charts because we need other humans to stay alive. We're not very good on our own. Now, don't get me wrong. We are wonderfully independent, incredibly powerful creatures. And if we go all the way back to the good old days in the grasslands, if there was a tiger and we were moving as a village across the land, well, if it's just you against the tiger, tiger's gonna win. Possibly. Most likely. But if it's you and an entire village against a tiger, you've got a pretty good chance of staying alive. So we need other people. And other people have the power to hurt us most deeply because we do need them so much. And that's where this 90% of our past starts to play an important role in how we show up in our day-to-day relationships today. Because if we've had past relationships that have been difficult, well, you can bet your bottom dollar that our brain remembers those experiences and can even bring experiences from the past into the present moment and cloud or pollute what's happening in the present moment with misconceptions, with wrong ideas, with what I like to think of as a past filter flowing into the present day that sometimes has nothing at all to do with what's happening in this moment. Remember, I had a patient one time who told me a story about how her boss gave her a look in a meeting. There's a specific quirk of an eyebrow that showed up, and she felt as though her nervous system went on fire. So much so that she actually slammed on the laptop. Yes, thank goodness they're on telehealth, but slammed down the laptop and walked away from the meeting and the computer. The interesting thing about that moment was her amygdala literally thought there was a threat present in real time in her room, even though she was here in Los Angeles and her boss was up in Northern California. Amy could not differentiate between the two. Now that's a big example of what I'm talking about, but these little micro-processing moments where our brain is experiencing threat show up all the time, and even more so if we have had a complicated life that is preceding the moment before this one right here, right now. Because our amygdala remembers thoughts and feelings and body sensations and colors and all the sensory elements, and can link into them and say those data points are scary. So in those moments, we have an incredibly powerful tool to help our brain let go and step back so that we don't have to slam the laptop down and get out of there. One of those tools is that CPR for the amygdala. Cool thing about those moments when your past shows up and runs right into your present is that means that a little memory from the back of your life, all the way back there, has come alive right now. I look at those as opportunities because CPR for the amygdala actually starts healing those little receptors and letting them go so they don't show up again in the future. Yes, you have the power to literally, neurologically heal your brain right here, right now. That is healing in your hands. The other piece that's so important is in those moments where you feel like, oh, my brain just took over, remember to lean into self-compassion. That is your brain doing everything that it can to keep you alive because it thought that in that moment a tiger was going to jump out and get you. And because we are so dependent on other humans to keep us safe, they have the greatest capacity for security and safety, as well as danger and threat. So go find those opportunities. I'll see you soon.